Here is another problem where we have to apply PEMDAS, order of operation. Parentheses first, which means look inside the parentheses and see how you can simplify inside parentheses. Notice it is subtraction of fractions, and they're luckily like fractions. So we have a common denominator, which is 30. And then we're counting the number of parts out of 30. It should be 17 minus 12, which means subtract the numerator. Subtract 12 from 17 in the numerator. We get 5 over 30. And then divided by 5 over 6. So we've completely simplified what's inside parentheses. We could reduce it to the lowest terms, but in this case we're going to multiply or divide fractions anyway, so we'll do that in a minute. Now change division to multiplication and then flip the fraction, so it becomes 5/30ths times 6/5. Now clearly the 5's cancel and 6 is hidden as a factor of 30. So write 30 as a multiple of 6, so that's 6 times 5. We cancel common factors, which means 6 over 6 is a 1. 5 remains in the denominator, and we have 1/5 as the final answer. Again, PEMDAS. Multiplication comes before addition or subtraction, so do the multiplication first. 5/12 minus 1/2 times 1/6. Multiplying fractions is the same as breaking down the numbers and cancelling common factors. Here the numerator is a 1, so there is nothing else to cancel, so 1 times 1 is a 1. 6 times 2 is a 12. So the next obvious thing to do is to subtract the fractions. They're like fractions, so we're counting in 12ths. We're trying to figure out how many 12ths are in this. So it's all over 12, which is the common denominator. 5/12, so it's 5 of the parts from the first fraction minus 1 from the second fraction. So 5 minus 1 is 4/12. Now we need to reduce it to the lowest terms. And this is equal to 1/3. And that's our final answer because it's in the lowest terms. We have 3/4 or rather 3/8 cup of vinegar and 4/8 cup of oil to make a salad dressing. So what is the total amount in cups of salad dressing? It's 3/8 cup plus 4/8 cup. So the total amount of salad dressing is equal to 7/8. We are counting eighths. So the common denominator is an 8. We have 3/8 coming from the first, 4 of those coming from the second. So it's 4 plus 3, 7/8. And the unit of measurement is cups. Now he uses 1/8 of a cup of the mixture for a large salad. How much oil and vinegar mixture was left over? So we have 7/8 of a cup. We use, which means we subtract 1/8 of a cup to figure out how much is left behind. Again, like fractions. So we have a common denominator, 7 minus 1, which is 6/8 of a cup. We can reduce it further. And that's equal to 3/4 cup of mixture that is left over. Now we have the weekly rainfall for this town for 4 weeks, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And every single week, the amount of rainfall in inches is recorded. What's the total amount of rainfall? It's 2/10 plus 7/10 plus 9/10 plus 17/10. And the unit of measurement is inches. Since we are adding, the final answer will be in inches. So basically we are adding like fractions. So we have a common denominator that is 10. And then we go 2 plus 7 plus 9 plus 17. 17 plus 7 is 24. And 9 plus 2 is 11. And the total amount of rainfall is 35 inches. 35/10 of an inch, sorry. 35 is the total of the numerator, but the denominator is 10. So it's 35/10, which is 10 goes 3 times into 35, leaving a remainder of 5. So 3 5/10 of an inch, which is the same as 3.5 inches. Or another way of doing this is reducing it completely. 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 2 is 10. Cancelling the common factors and figuring out 7 halves. 2 goes 3 times into 7, leaving a remainder of 1. So 3.5 inch. So this is equal to 3.5 inches. Or we can think of it as 7 halves. Now the total amount of rainfall is 7/2 inches. That's the total. If we divide the total by the number of numbers, since we've collected data for 4 weeks, per week would be, so this is in inches, per, which is divided by week. So we get 7/2 divided by 4/1. And that's equal to 7/2 times 1/4 inches per week. So that's 7/8 inches per week.